how and when can we use hypnotic time distortion, and what does it achieve? Okay, so first of all, what is time distortion? Some of you may know what that is. Well, it's a hypnotic phenomena, but it's a phenomena that actually happens naturally anyway in everyday life. You know, let me give you a couple of analogies. If you were waiting at a bus stop with a friend, and it's a nice sunny day, you'll be chatting away. Guess what? The bus comes really quickly. If you're on your own and it's a rainy day and it's cold, you know that bus takes a lot longer to come. And of course, there's no difference. It's just your perception of time that's different. Same, have you noticed when you go to the movies, you go and see a film, when they have a really good film showing, they always put all the comfortable seats in, but then they take them all out and put really uncomfortable seats in when it's a boring film. Don't know why they do that. You know, so it's an example. You see, you're aware of this external things that bother you, make you fidget and stuff like furniture or whatever, depending on how interested or absorbed you are in something. So the more absorbed you are, the more you're in that particular world, whether someone's telling you a story, if you're reading a book, or you're focused on doing something, then time will go a lot faster. Okay, so it's a naturally occurring phenomenon. So we can use that in hypnotherapy. We can suggest it directly or indirectly in hypnosis to allow it to become a much more active part of their therapy. So what did Jane say? What does it achieve? Well, depends on the problem, of course, but let me give you a couple of examples. Okay. Let's think about pain. You know, when somebody comes in with pain, they want it reduced or to go altogether. Now, we won't necessarily take it away altogether because it has a purpose, has a reason for being there. It's saying, please look after me, you know, dump up your leg again. So we don't want to take it away necessarily altogether unless it's something like terminal illness, where there's not a problem in taking away the pain, just so how somebody has a comfortable last few weeks or months of their life or whatever. That's perfectly ethical and okay. But normally we wouldn't. We just reduce it. So, but take pain, okay. How can we reduce pain? Well, there's lots of different ways of working with pain, but here, because we're talking about time distortion, let's talk about how we would use that specifically with pain control. Well, depends on the pain. If it's a stabbing pain, a nagging pain, a burning pain, you have to identify the kind of pain. If it's something that's continuous, it's there all the time, then you probably can't use time distortion. Well, you could actually, but you wouldn't probably have that as your first choice. But if it's something that comes and goes, like a stabbing pain, for example, what you can do is use time distortion to reduce the duration psychologically, reduce the duration of the pain itself, and increase the duration of the comfort in between the stabbing. So you're not making any change to the actual pain itself. You're making a change to the client or patient's perception of the pain using time distortion. So this is, for example, how you could use it. But I've also used it in other ways. You can use it to speed up things. Okay, here's a story. Many years ago, this young lady, she could sing and dance, and she was due to do a showcase in a recording studio for a record company who was being driven in with all the champagne and Rolls Royces and stuff that they have, to bring this record executive to this recording studio to see this girl sing and dance. Now, come the morning, this was going to be in the afternoon, come the morning, we realized that she could sing and she could dance, but she couldn't do the two together. So I was asked, could I do something here? So I spent about an hour and a half with her in the morning, using time distortion to make her believe unconsciously, in hypnosis, that she'd spent something like 3 months practicing and had become superb at singing and dancing together. And this was all in her mind, of course, and that she spent 3 months doing it. And so that when she came out of hypnosis, she really believed that she'd been doing that. Okay. When it came to the time, she came out in her multicolored leotard which is probably why she got the record deal, to be honest. And singing and dancing together, no problem. Okay, so we can use time distortion in something like that. This kind of hypnotic phenomena is limited only by your imagination. You know, when you have a problem, you're working with a client, you can think of all the different classes of hypnotic phenomena. Think, which would be the most appropriate? Could I use that in some way to help the client? So that's an example of time distortion.